Bucks County Bytes. Yes, we are back this week. I apologize. Life has been crazy. I can't even tell you what happened today. It's just been absolutely insane. But I really wanted to have this podcast on earlier. Actually had 3 women this week in business, and they were all scheduled, and they still are, just they are delayed some. So today I have an awesome guest coming on. Beautiful voice, beautiful musician coming on, and I am so happy and privileged to bring her into the podcast. She had heard Burke Smith, who was on he was on about a week ago or so, and he actually is like, did you talk to my friend Jules? I'm like, no. She's like, she really wants to come on. Her name is Jules Marie. She's an up and coming artist. Fantastic voice. Never heard anything like it. And she reminds me kind of like a Halsey. She's got that voice. It's really pretty. Anyway, she's going to be on, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a scenario today of what happens. You know, Hercules, we all know, hasn't walked in a long time, and he continues to stay on the stable side of not walking. But this morning I get up, all hell broke loose. You know, really has been crazy. And Sam could not get up this morning to walk. It's been really hard. Had to literally carry him out of the door and try to help him do his business. And I knew he had to get to the vet. His one paw was swollen, the other one was knuckling over. At the same time, the AC unit had blown, and they decided to come in this morning, and start doing all this work and causing such commotion that I could not do the podcast with Jules. And Sam had to go to the vet. Hercules had to be taken care of. When it rains, it pours. And it did this morning. And it did it for the whole day, up till about 15 minutes ago. So I did talk to Jules, and she completely is a sweetheart. She understood the problems that happen to when you have dogs. And life happens. There's nothing we can do. And an election happens, and that's, been the craziness of Halloween, full moon, blue moon, election, everything happening on. That asteroid who whizzed by the Earth at 260,000 miles away. Well, we didn't get hit, but we're still here. We're here having our podcast. So we're going to just chill a little bit with some soothing meditation music today, because I think everybody needs it. Everybody needs to breathe, and breathe through your nose, not through the mouth. Nice deep breaths, and relax, because we have the most beautiful voice coming on in just a little while. And she's going to tell us some stories and tell us about her music. And we are going to have her music on, of course, as I always do, in the background. And towards our outro, we will get to hear her beautiful songs. So everybody, hang in there. Jules is coming on. This is Jules Marie coming on today for Bucks County Bytes. All right, Bucks County, let's get ready to give Jules Marie a call, and let's see what she's up to. We did chat for just a couple minutes before I actually decided to call her for the podcast, because it has been a crazy day. So let's just try it again. She wasn't on the first try, but here we go. Let's try again.
Hello?
Hey, Jules, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just was kind of giving you a little bit of an intro along with the crazy day of what happens. So
Oh my goodness.
I know. So everyone, Bucks County Bites here. We have a very special guest here. Her name is Jules Marie, and she has the most outstanding voice I have ever heard. I didn't even know about you until Bert Smith is the one that said, "Have you ever heard Jules?" And I'm like, "No." And then you got a hold of me shortly after. So
Yeah,
that
you
you,
did the podcast with him. I was so
yeah,
excited to see that.
it was so cool to do that with him. And then and I found out about you. You got a hold of me and you messaged me. I'm like, then I went all over your stuff and listened. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with your voice. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank
But
you so much.
anyway, Bucks County wants to know all about you. Everybody out there in our listening world wants to hear, who is Jules.
Well, I mean, I'm from Bucks County. I'm kind of from all over Pennsylvania. I've lived up in the Poconos. I live a little bit outside of Philadelphia in the suburb area, and my dad lives in Bucks County at this point. So I know a little bit about all of the areas, but Bucks County is one of my favorites. And of course, that's where I met Burke. And we worked on music together. I think he actually didn't he live in your neighborhood? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's how we met. So I moved here and Burke was there. I never knew, like, I didn't know who he was. He just came over one night and we started talking, and I was telling him about, who I know. Like, I know different producers and different people in the music industry, and of course he told me all about what he does. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me connect you to some people that I know. And I did. I was able to tell those people, the producers, who Burke is, and I gave them his music. Now, I don't know whether they reached out or not. I mean, it's a crazy world, and who knows
Yeah,
within
there's tons of people in the industry. I've met
tons.
so many different people from all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, so that's how we met, and and as time went along, I did not. I mean, I used to not knowing at the time. I used to see you in the
Yeah,
neighborhood,
that's right.
and
That's right.
it was interesting to know that you told me this. You told me a while ago that you actually wrote songs with him. You'd be sitting outside, you'd be writing music.
Yeah, of course I had no idea who you were at the time. I mean, I we would see all of his neighbors. So both of us used to just write in our trucks. So we both, well, I don't know if he has a truck anymore. I think he drives a car now, but we used to just both write in our trucks. Like that was where our space was. We could go drive anywhere we wanted and sit there. So when we met and we both had that in common, the one night we were just trying to write a new song, and he was like, all right, well, let's just hop in the truck and put on the beat that he was using. And we wrote that way. And it was funny because I would always feel like a little self-conscious just knowing that all of the neighbors were just watching us.
That's what I was seeing. I remember walking by the one time, and you both were sitting in there. I'm like, and I know he used to sing in the car. I know that because I would go out at nighttime and he'd be in there rapping in the car. He
Yeah.
would, I guess, he'd write his
Some of
raps.
our best songs. Yeah,
Some of
some
your
of our
best
best
songs
songs
are
came
coming
that
out of
way.
there. That's what's so.
Yes, some of them.
So, did you write a song that came out of one of those car sessions that you actually have?
Yeah. So All My Life, which is actually on his EP or his album, the Buzz Baked and Broken, that one is actually on there, and it played on the podcast. I was so excited. It came on there. You were looping through his Spotify, and it
Yeah,
was on there. I was so excited. It came on, and I was like, wait a second, that's my
I
song.
had no idea, Jules. I love the song on there, and I'm like, this is such a good song. I love it. I just do. But did not know, of course, then it's you. And I was so excited to find out, like, Jules is coming on the podcast. Oh, how cool. I was so excited. Very, very excited.
I
But,
love it. I'm
oh,
happy that you liked it, and I'm
I,
happy to be here. I'm
I
really
know. I'm
excited.
so happy that you're here. But let's talk a little about you. We know that you are connected to Burke Smith, which is fantastic because he's moving up. He's moving up the ranks, and I'm so proud of him. So happy, and you being a good friend, and he's kind of there almost like he's helping you along the way. I mean, I guess you have a lot of people that are helping you out
He
there
was
in the
one of
music
the
world.
first people to really reach out to me, and that he really just, he loved my voice, and he said he really just wanted to work with me, and he was one of the first people to get me to really write, like for a real, song. I had
Mhm.
written a couple of times for other rapper friends that I had, other people's songs, and it was just really easy to do with him. We're both like kind of similar in the way that we think about writing and the way that we think about the world, and it was really easy to just kind of click like that. So he definitely helped me get my confidence up. And also another one of the first with him was my first open mic. We went out into, I think it was Doylestown, and we just sang at an open mic and we performed All My Life.
Oh wow.
And after that experience, it was one of the things that got me to really want to keep performing. And now, I mean, at this point, I've done so many performances in all kinds of different ways. I actually had a band. I had a cover band with a bunch of guys who are in their 50s and 60s, and they actually, one of the drummer ended up being a cousin of mine. So
Oh
I
my
was
gosh,
singing.
really?
It's a weird story. It's
That's
not, I
really
mean, it's a sweet story, but I was singing actually at my grandmother's funeral. I was singing Ave Maria, or I think it was, I forget which the song was now. I'm going to be so sad later that I can't remember which song it was. But
It'll
I was
come to you.
singing,
Yeah.
and he walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, I loved you singing. Have you ever thought about being in a band?" And he actually had been playing with these guys. They've been playing together for about 6 or 7 years,
Mhm.
and they were the house band over at Pizza Time in Lansdale.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know. Right.
yeah, so I actually got to perform with them for a while. Unfortunately, COVID did stop that from happening. We haven't performed since,
I
but that
know.
was some good performance experience for me. So that
I
was really
know.
fun.
It's been a bad situation with the COVID situation. I mean, I know everybody in entertainment, in music, everybody's doing everything differently. They're doing some live streams. They might have one member at one house and another member, and they just kind of perform separately. Some people are doing that. Some people are still getting together. It's
Yeah.
just been really, really tough, especially if you're trying to get out there in the music industry. It's making it just doing things differently. Everybody.
Yeah, I
Man.
got really lucky actually. So my situation was pretty unique. I live with my mom. She lives closer to Phoenixville, and Phoenixville actually did this thing where they shut down the streets. So Thursday night, all the way until Monday morning, Bridge Street, which is the main street in
Yeah,
Phoenixville,
yeah, I
they
know.
shut it down and they had it for open air dining. And I actually, it was amazing because I was able to actually perform on Bridge Street. So COVID actually for me, I lucked out. I had more gigs during COVID than I think I had ever
Really?
performed
That's
before. Yeah.
amazing. You got more gigs and got heard more during this pandemic.
Yeah, luckily for me, I mean everybody else that I've heard, I mean they were struggling trying to get
Hmm.
gigs. I mean, I don't know how I lucked out. I really did just walk down the street in Bridge Street, and I had a bunch of friends who owned businesses. Frank, who owns Vecchia's Pizza, he let me sing outside. I walked down the street. Nerd Merch, my friend Tyler, he asked me if I could perform. And then I also have a friend Dave who owns a glass shop down at the other end. So all the
Wow.
ends of Bridge Street, I got to just perform.
Oh,
I
cool.
have a really good friend Sam who he plays guitar, so he played guitar for me, and we just came up with like a set list of like 30 to 40 songs, and we played through. We did like a 3 to 4 hour set, and yeah, COVID was really good for me. I mean,
Oh,
not the
that's
beginning of
so
COVID
good.
as we were all
Yeah.
quarantined
Right,
together,
right.
but as things
Wow.
started adapting, and the open air businesses decided to do the open air dining,
Mhm.
it actually was a really
It's a
kind
good
of
thing
like
for you.
bump for me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Oh yeah, you're definitely. I can see your music is definitely taking off. I can see like you're getting the plays on Spotify and you're out there. I mean, I was on your live stream on your Facebook the other day. Was that your
Yeah,
Facebook
that's
or
right. It
Instagram?
was
Was it
Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram? Yeah, I was watching. That was fun. That was fun listening to you. You're like trying to, you're coming up with this tune and just kind of you were producing your kind of thing. Whatever you were trying to do, create
Yeah, I was
while
trying to
you're
write a
there.
song.
Yeah, you're
I'm trying
writing
to
and
write some
creating, and it's like
songs.
fun to watch you process that. It was awesome. But tell me a little bit about like what has driven you like at a young age did you sing back then? Did you play instruments? What was the thing that you did? Did you write music when you were a child? Did you do
Yeah.
those things? A lot of kids
So
do.
I hear my story a lot with other musicians. That's something that me and Burke do not have in common. Burke got his start up, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, and he's kind of taken off rather quickly. I've been singing since I could talk. The story that my family always tells me is that we were at Thanksgiving. I was about 3 or 4 years old, and I stood up on the table and I started singing "Tomorrow" from Annie, and
Oh
they
wow.
never let me live it down, and for years and years and years they would always ask me to sing that song. And yeah, so singing was just something I always knew I wanted to do. It was something that I always felt like it was meant for me. And of course there was, a time when I got a little older, and the doubt set in, because everybody has that dream. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very popular dream to have. But it's all about how much you work for it and how much you really are serious about it, and that's how far you'll go with it. And everybody told me, if you want it, you just really have to do it, and you can't quit when it gets hard. So it's been a really long process and a long journey for me.
So
But yeah, I
you
was
have
always
been
singing.
you've been working at it since you've been a kid then.
Yeah, I wrote my first song. I think I was, 7 or 8
Oh
years
my
old, and I
gosh.
actually still sing it sometimes
Oh my
because it's
gosh.
it's just one of those things that gets stuck in your head. And the song that I'm working on now is actually something that I wrote when I was about 14 or 15. It was like my very first little breakup, and I wrote a breakup song, and my friend heard it on my YouTube, and he's a producer, and he heard it on my YouTube, and he's like, "We could redo this now." And I could put a beat behind it, and so it's called Remember, and maybe I'll let you hear it a little later.
Yeah,
But
that would be great. Oh my gosh. We could put it on the podcast.
yeah,
If
I
you
could
if
definitely
you
do
can
that.
even send me the sound bite for it, or if you have it there with you, you can always play it on here. That would be great.
Yeah, I'm
Definitely.
actually buying my piano, so at any time if you want me to
Oh,
play it,
okay.
I
Well,
could.
yeah, let's go for it. You just
You want me to do it now?
yeah, go for it. I'd love to hear
Oh
it.
boy. Okay. Well, it's called Remember. It was, like I said, it was my first breakup. I didn't really know much about relationships, so you'll hear me say climbing a tree on our first date, because that
Okay.
literally was what we
Oh,
did.
this is awesome.
But yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me just test my. Let's see. Can you hear that? Is
Yeah,
that
I hear
good?
it. I hear it great.
All right. Here we go. One of these days you're gonna look back and think about all that we had, and I hope you'll remember. I hope you remember every look in my eyes, the way I looked at you in every kiss goodnight. Oh, the memories, the feeling inside when we first met. It's funny how I didn't know it yet, but I fall hard from climbing a tree on our first date. Me taking forever, making you wait, but holding your hand, yeah, we drive all night. Oh, we were so real, and it felt so right.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my
That's a
gosh.
little bit of it. That's a little bit. And it
Wow,
goes
we
back into
just
the chorus.
heard something that's not out there. We have a first Jules. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's amazing. And all those people are gonna hear this, and now they're gonna want that song. They want that
It should be
download.
out soon. It should be out soon. We actually were just working on it today. I was over there since we had to delay the podcast a little bit. You gave me a chance to get to go over there, and so we actually finished recording it today. So it should be out within the
Oh,
end of the month.
wow, it's so
I'm
fun. That's
excited.
so cool. I am excited for you. Oh my gosh, and they're gonna have all the links, of course. But this is that's the first time somebody's ever sang on the podcast.
Played live on your
yeah,
podcast? Oh,
that's great. Oh,
I'm
wow.
honored.
No, I feel so honored to have you and even do that. So, like I said, just learning a little bit about you, your music, and I know your friends are so supportive of you. I know your friends and your family must be so supportive of you.
Yeah, my family has been amazing. I mean, friends too. I mean, I've had friends that I didn't even know knew I did music, like reposting my things and being like, I can't wait to see you when you're in concert. And it really does give me like a huge confidence boost, because it's hard to stay, you know, motivated sometimes when you are sitting there and you get down on yourself, or you feel like you have a little bit of a lack of motivation. So yeah, my family and my friends really do. They keep me going, and they keep me with my confidence and my spirits up.
They should be, because I know your social media following, you've got a pretty good amount of people following you on social media. So
from all over too. It's been weird to see people. I mean, I have people from Germany requesting me, and I mean, it's interesting. And then I love that Spotify shows you who's listening from where. I mean, I've been able to see that people in other countries are listening to my songs, and it's crazy that the world we live in now. I mean, all you have to do is you put it on a streaming site and it can go anywhere.
It goes anywhere. And it's really neat about the podcast. So I have the Buzzsprout, and it's the most detailed I've ever seen. It shows you the towns, the cities, the countries. It tells you everything from age groups, you name it. I was like, it's amazing the tracking that you can find out who's listening. And it's just all over the world. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm just so happy that, you know, I'm able to do this and help other people. That's why I'm doing it. I'm out here in Bucks County. I'm helping other people get heard, get seen from all different businesses and walks of life. I just never expected it. You know, I've always been a musical person myself, and that's one of my favorite things is interviewing people in the music industry, because I play guitar, I play bagpipe, violin.
Do you really?
Yeah, guitar. I'm
so jealous. That's something I've always wanted to be able to play guitar. I can only play piano by ear. I actually really
you learned by
rote.
Music. Oh my gosh, that's the way I learned to play guitar. I learned by rote.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than it seems. So I mean, props to you, because that is something I've always wanted to be able to do. I've tried a bunch of times.
I love it. I admire you because, you know, I was in a couple different bands when I was younger, and I never pursued that dream, and I wish I had, because I love to write. You know, I love stories, I love writing, I love all that. And, you know, when I learned the bagpipe, that was the hardest challenge of it all.
That's so crazy. Oh my goodness.
Because you have to learn on a chant. It is a very hard instrument because the breathing pattern is different. You have to squeeze the bag, but you learn on a chanter first, and then you go over to the bag, which they call the goose. And then I call it a goose because it looks like this neck of a goose, and you have a bag.
That makes sense. Yeah, I've seen a bagpipe. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
And then you get the drones. So it comes in stages, and once you get all that going, and I'll tell you what, it's an amazing instrument. I was in a couple bands because I went to Moravian College, so I got to play in the Lehigh Valley bands when I was at school, and then I just got involved with a couple different groups that just were playing for fun, you know, guitars, like the Celtic band. So it's been a great experience. It's a lot of fun.
Well, that's the other thing, is that there's so many different types of genres of music. I mean, like I said, I was in that cover band. The cover band was mostly classic rock, alternative, oldies stuff. And then you fast forward to now, I'm writing kind of, I don't know, I still haven't really defined my genre, but I'm kind of like alternative, R&B, pop. Okay. I guess indie vibes. Someone tried to tell me I was indie, and I was like, I don't know if I quite fit that genre.
You've got a mix of things going on there. I can hear what was your influences when you were growing up? Maybe that, you know, were you influenced by R&B, rock? What was your
I'm blues? A Beyonce fan through and through. That was always, everyone wants to be Beyonce, but I loved her voice. And then a little bit of the soul kind of thing. I mean, I always loved like Alicia Keys and anyone that really I could feel when they were singing. I really connected with that. And so that's what I try and do when I'm writing, is I really try and write lyrics and sing in a way that people can kind of feel the emotion that I'm feeling, because I
Yeah.
know that I'm not the only one that feels that way, you know. And
Yeah.
so if I can kind of reach anybody, and that's another thing that I've heard from other artists, is that any way I can reach somebody and make them feel how I'm feeling or feel a certain way and feel like they're not alone, yeah,
That's
it's
where your
definitely where
voice
I'm at.
comes in, because I can feel that voice connect. There's something about, like, I hear a lot of people singing, but there's some people that just have a connection to. When I first thing I heard was on Bergsmith. I'm like, God, that voice is fantastic. I didn't know who it
Oh,
was.
thank you so
It's like,
much.
wow, that's really, you can feel it, you can connect with it. Whatever she's singing, it's just something that goes through your soul. It does. It
Yeah, All
goes
My Life
through.
was a big one. The lyrics to that, it's like, tell me what you think you're working for, and if you could be anything, you know, it's all those lyrics where it's like dreaming about the future, thinking about the future, like it's all the emotions that you have when you feel like you're working towards
Yeah.
something. And yeah, that was a huge one. Ironically, I wrote the very first, we finished writing that song in his truck, but I wrote the very beginning hook to that song when I was working at Domino's as a delivery driver.
Oh my gosh.
um, and I actually had just gotten done a run, as they call them. So it's when after you deliver your pizza, that's a run. I had gotten done, and I was sitting in front of the store, and he sent me that beat, and I wrote that. That was like the fastest I've ever written a hook. Was I wrote that sitting, and I was like, "Tell me what you
Oh
think you're
my
working
gosh.
for." Because I was working 2 jobs, and I was working a lot, and I was like, "Well, what am I working for?" And yeah, it was something that really just kind of came
You
out of
sound
me.
like you write really well in a car. You
I
have
feel
to.
like I do. I feel like I've
Me
been having trouble
too.
writing lately because I haven't been in my car a lot. I need to get back in my truck
Well,
and just
that
try and write
for
again.
something, it's something to do with, maybe, like, if you're in your car and you're sitting there, it's something about that contained space. Like, I love getting in a car and just driving, and I love listening to music 24/7. So there's something about being in a car. I don't know. It's like gives you this
Yeah,
feeling, maybe, of like independence. It's
definitely.
just you in there. There's nobody around you. It's just you and your vehicle inside a contained space, and nobody can get to you. I don't know, and it's very, very strange. But your music is just, I don't know. It's getting out there. And do you have a producer that helps you get the music? Do you have somebody working with you to get it out there and be seen and be heard? And how did you get on Spotify? Like, is it hard to get your music on Spotify and to get it out there? Because I know with a
So
podcast it's not too difficult, but I think.
yeah, I think you might use a similar. Do you use a distribution site? Because that's what I use. So I have a bunch of different producer friends of mine.
Mhm.
Um, the very first producer I ever worked with, his name is Jared. He goes by the handle Pimp Fried Rice, which is a very interesting title, and everyone always asks me what that even means. You'd have to
That's.
ask him.
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
He likes like Japanese culture a lot, and so the fried rice, like he has his little symbol and everything. He's into anime and all that. But I've known him since I was about 12 or 13 years old. We actually went to the same church, and I met him, and through absolutely nothing having to do with church, we ended up doing music. And he was the one who taught me about DistroKid. So DistroKid, you pay one price for the whole year, and you can sign up as an artist. So I pay like the least amount. I don't have a lot of money, so I do not pay any more than I have to.
Yeah, right, right.
But so you sign up for the year, and you can put as many songs as you want, and they'll distribute it onto all of your major streaming platforms. So iTunes, Spotify,
Okay.
Amazon, Google Play, all of those. He uses the producer version. So the producer's version, you can do different artists, and you can have like a label for yourself. But yeah, DistroKid is really good. I hear mixed reviews on all of those kinds of distribution sites, but
Mhm.
that's the one I use, and I haven't had
Okay.
any issues so far. I
That's
really like
good.
it because I have the ability to kind of add my lyrics in there too, which is a cool feature on there that you can put your lyrics in. Like, there's a way that they play the song and you follow along with your lyrics, and you can actually have the lyrics play
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
I've seen that before, where you're listening and then the lyrics come in. You can kind of
Yeah,
follow along with that. Oh, you have
yeah.
that
So that
option.
yeah, that option's on there, and it's been really cool to do because I feel like it's a lot more of a connection to the song when you can read the lyrics as you're
Mhm.
hearing them.
That's
That's why
true.
lyric videos are so awesome. I wish I had the power to make that more too. I have a lot of things that I want to do. It's just, finding the ways and the time to do it.
Yeah, and you right now, I guess we got more time than we ever expected.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we might try to be working. Some of us are still working, but at least you have the option. You're home a lot more than probably what you were, and you're able to focus more on your music and everything, trying to get it out there and be seen, be heard. That's what's really great about the IG, about the TikTok, about your Facebook, all those platforms. Like when I put you out there, so what I'm gonna do is like you'll go on all the social media and LinkedIn. All of LinkedIn's actually really big now. I don't know if you knew
I
that.
need to get on that. That and TikTok. Everybody keeps
You
telling me to get
need
on
to
those.
get on LinkedIn. And the thing is with LinkedIn, because it's being used almost like a Facebook and Instagram and like a Snapchat almost, because they have stories now. So not
Oh,
everybody's
wow.
using it yet, but I do it all the time. I'm always on there. I post all my YouTubes and my podcast, and I put it into the stories. And people, I have getting more views than I've ever done before in the last
Using
2 weeks.
LinkedIn.
Is
Wow.
LinkedIn, and I never got that much. I never got that much before. I'm getting people constantly connecting with me. I'm on this Matchmaker FM, which puts me in touch with people that want to be on podcasts, and I can go on podcasts myself. And
Oh,
because of
really?
that, yeah, you're connecting with people all over the world. It's crazy. And so once I get you out there, we'll do a promo. Like I said, Burke Smith did not make the promo, but we're gonna
I
get you
told
on the
him.
promo.
I
We're
told him all those curse words are going to come to bite me in the
Don't curse on a podcast unless you have the parental advisory, and certain places will promo you, but Facebook and Instagram will not promo you if you have curse words. We've
Yeah, this
learned
is a
that.
family-friendly show.
Yes,
Bucks
we
County
we've
Bites is a family-friendly
it's a
show.
learning curve, and we found out like, okay, well, my Pine to Pink got promoted, so did Dr. Dane, and the Training for Warriors, all of those guys got promoted except for two. Burke Smith was one, and my other one, the guy in New York who had the gym, he did not get promoted because it was a political thing, which was there's
That's
certain
so
things
weird.
just
Oh,
won't go.
censored.
Yeah,
That's
they
so
censor,
sad.
they listen to it, they look for those keywords, and they find them, and they won't put them out there. So even we just have to be careful. If there is something in there, I have to know, I have to edit it out, fix it, and then I could probably put it out. So it just makes it more work. But I will get you out there, and we'll get those promos done. We'll get you in that YouTube, and we'll promo the YouTube, especially an up and coming artist, Burke Smith and yourself. We need to get you her. I've got a lot of people that contacted me that want to promo Burke Smith, and when they see you, they're going to want to do the same thing for you. So
Oh,
it's
I'm so
usually like
excited.
you pay a little bit of money, but it's not much. But some of these guys that are doing it, they're like, there's hundreds of thousands of followers on their end. So you're actually connecting with these guys that say, all right, let's put them out there. And all of a sudden, like, you've got another 50, 100,000 people to see you.
Yeah, that's crazy. The traction that you can get just by one
Mm-hmm.
person showing an interest in you. I mean,
Absolutely.
even just by doing, like we're talking about right now, like doing this podcast. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm sure there's people in Bucks County that even though I live there that had never heard of me. And I'm sure there's people who, listen to your podcast all the time that,
Yeah, they
might just want
do.
another song to listen to
It's
and,
another
go check it
artist they
out.
can listen to. And like I said, we'll be putting your music into this podcast. And if you want a certain song, we're going to put that one that I listen to all the time on Spotify. And that is, what's that one that you just had put out how long ago?
Either Let You Go or So Far Gone. The one that I
Let
gave
You
you the album
Go.
artwork. I'll Let You Go, really?
I think it's to Let You Go. Because I was listening to that the other day. I was on the road. And yeah, it's Let You Go. I listened to that like repeatedly. It's so good.
Oh, that makes me so happy because that song almost did not get released.
Really?
I didn't like that song.
You're
Yeah, I
kidding
wrote it.
me.
I wrote it and I just beat myself up about it, about the way that it sounded, or I thought I could do
Oh
it
my
differently
gosh.
here. Yeah,
It's
and
my
it took a
favorite
lot of
one.
pushing. My mom said the same thing. She's like, I'm so glad that you didn't not release it because she actually she was going through a hard time recently, and that song, she said, she's very spiritual, and so she said that she prayed before she hit shuffle on her YouTube.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, God, what do you want me to listen to? And crazy as that sounds, she actually hit shuffle and that song came on. And I don't know how the algorithm works. It could have just been because I just released it and that she was
Maybe.
hearing it, but it came on and she said all of the words were exactly what she needed to hear. And yeah, the message behind that was a really real message. That was another one I wrote in my truck, and I was at a point in my life that I was going through it. I mean, we all go through it, and I needed words to get me through, and so I wrote them and I sang them, and it was really
It's
a personal song
great
for me.
song. I love that song. You know another song I think you need to write about? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Because we were just talking before I called you, and you know the story about my dogs. You know that they're not walking and they're not doing well. And everything went crazy today.
Yeah, you had to take them to the vet today. Yeah, so your crazy story today.
Crazy
we were
story.
supposed to do this at 1:00.
Yes.
I felt so bad.
It was
I never
bad.
wake up
The
early
dogs
either.
were not good, and the AC people came in, and they were tearing everything apart down where my studio is, exactly right where the studio is. And then they had everything torn out outside, making racket for 6-7 hours today. And the dogs are going through all their problems, and at the same time, it's like, that's why I told you about it. But then the story you told me, I was floored.
I just couldn't believe you knew the story.
So tell the listeners, I know Bucks County is going to hear this, and I was shocked that you're the one that had the dog. Yeah. Tell us the story.
So you were telling me about your dog and how your dog went to the vet, and so we were talking about how your dogs are bonded because they're brothers, and so they've been together their whole lives. And it reminded me, so my one dog, both of my dogs were at the groomers, and I can't believe you heard this story. So yeah, they were at the groomers, and Sadie, my younger of the two dogs, she actually got out, and they had taken her out to like go to the bathroom, and she, I guess, got out of her collar, and she ran out into the road on Hilltown Pike, and she actually was hit by a driver. The story as to why he hit her is up in the air. Witnesses said that they saw the guy and he, just kept driving, which I can never even imagine. I get chills thinking about it if I were to hit a dog or any animal.
It's a horrible thought to know what he did. That story has been everywhere, so that's why I want you to tell it. Everybody knows.
So my dog, she got out, and the driver hit her, and within about a week or two, my older dog, her name was Holly, she actually passed as well, just from missing my other dog. I never thought that was even possible, but it happened, and it was a really hard time for my family. My little brother and sister especially, they were, that was their childhood dog. It was my childhood dog, but I got those dogs when I was like 13, I was a little older. And they were only my youngest dog, she was six or seven, and then Holly was almost 10. So
it's terrible, Jules. I mean, I can't believe that even happened. And that story was shared tens of thousands of times in Bucks County. All the groups I'm in, like, I don't know, 50 groups. That story went viral because
they were trying to find the guy for a while. It's horrible. I mean, I can't even imagine, doing that at all.
Did they ever find him?
I don't think so. No, they never found him. There was a reward out to find the guy that hit him, and now they never found her.
You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do, right?
What?
You have to write a song.
I should write a song.
Yes, you
should. My goodness.
You need to write a song about your heart and how you feel. And I know you can do it because that's something that will come from your heart and from your soul. And you can tell a beautiful story in a song about your beautiful dogs and the bond between the two of them. Because that happens to a lot of people where they have two dogs. It happened to my dogs before, a long time ago. Xena and Thor. It happened to them, and then Hercules and Sam came along, and it's happening again. So it's a bond between.
It's really amazing, that they have a bond with each other. I mean, as much as they have a bond with you as they're human, they have a bond with each other, and especially when they're together for that many years, and they do everything together. They sleep together, they play together. Yeah, and that was the only really, the blessing that came out of that was we actually, it's the weirdest twist in this story is that, so my dad and my stepmom, they took my little brother and sister just to go out, and they saw puppies. And I kid you not, there was this puppy who I didn't agree with this decision just because I was still it was fresh for me. I'm like, what do you mean you got another dog? But when I saw this dog, so her name is Lacey, and she literally looks like a combination of Sadie and Holly. So
Oh
they
my
were both,
gosh.
yeah, they were both they were mixed breeds. So Sadie was an Australian Shepherd Collie mix, or I forget what a mix she was because she was just brown and fluffy. Um,
Oh.
and Holly was a little smaller, but really, this dog is literally a spitting image of both dogs combined. So it
Wow.
was really a nice thing for them to now they have another dog, and of course they take care of her and they make sure, she gets all the love that, they used to give to Holly and Sadie. And dogs are really part of the family. I think it's a huge thing for people who don't have dogs or people who don't have an animal. You can't really understand the bond. It's really like a
No,
family
they
member.
they can't understand because they're family. I mean, my furriest buddies, they are big lovers. They're English labs and they just love everybody. But the love is kind of fading away for just life. I can
Yeah,
see
when you
it.
get older,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see it. It's really, they don't understand. Like Herc does not understand. Like he can't walk. I mean, everything. Like I said, everything happened today when the guys were there changing the unit, and Sam is now not able to walk. And then all of a sudden, Herc like barked. I'm like, I turned around. It's like you just didn't. He
Aww.
just left. Everything just happened. Like he couldn't even get outside. He didn't even
So
have
Sam and
the
Hook, they're how old? They're 13, you
other
said?
13. It's like he
Oh my
left me a
goodness.
present on the floor. I'm like,
Oh
oh my
no.
gosh, no! This is like the day from hell. So
Oh
I'm like,
no.
and my podcast is not going to happen at when it's
Yeah,
supposed
we
to.
rescheduled though. We got it. We made it
We
work.
got it. We made it work. We made it work. And it's just like, and I love this. I love it that we're able to connect, and this is going to be out there. And I can't wait to put your music on. And you had this beautiful song that you sang. So you might have to do one more before we get off. One more.
One
you,
more.
you have to think of something. What could you sing to us as our, we're going to be getting off the podcast here soon. What could you sing to us? Something that maybe you haven't released yet, or maybe one of the songs that you had done already. Do you want to tell people about something that you want to tell our listeners out there?
Well, there is a song. So when I first started releasing music, I didn't realize that I could use my name, Jules Marie. My Instagram handle has always been Jules Marie Music. And when I was first using DistroKid, I put my name as just Jules with a period because I thought, put the
Okay.
period there and that'll make it distinct. No, it did not. So there's a lot of other Jules artists in the world, and so that is actually like a separate Spotify account that I have, and that was my very first single. It's called Breathe. I cannot play it on piano because it's actually a beat that was done by Jared, like I said, but
Okay.
I can sing it for you. I can sing it a cappella.
Okay.
That was something that I wrote, and so it'll be on there. I think I sent you the link for it, but I can sing it for you if
I
you'd
believe
like.
you did, but having you just sing it just right here, right now, even if it's just for 30 seconds or a minute, that would be wonderful.
Sounds good. Yeah. I mean, all right. So I wrote it. This is another breakup song. Um,
It's
this was
great.
after a longer relationship of mine, and this was the first song that I ever felt comfortable enough. Like, this is a real, full, ready to go, ready to release song. And I actually wrote it in. This is the fastest I ever wrote a full song. I wrote it in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Also sitting in my truck, on a note in my phone. So you know how your iPhone has the little notes
Yeah, you did it on
area.
your note in your phone.
Yeah, that's how I wrote almost all of the songs that you hear on Spotify were written on the notes section on my phone. So,
That's very cool. Go ahead.
but all right,
Good.
so the lyrics. Um, so it says, so we're just strangers, even though we talk every day. Oh, the feeling's gone now. Even though the memories are here to stay, you know we're still so young now. And it's a little naive to say, but it's too hard to move on now. Just always thought we'd make it somehow. Feels like I had every opportunity, and I just shut every door. I used to think that I knew what I wanted, but it's just not me anymore. Breathe in, breathe out. You came here to listen, so shut your mouth. Your words don't make a sound, your actions better speak if you wanna keep me around. Breathe in, breathe out. You came here to listen, so shut your mouth. Your words don't make a sound, your actions better speak if you wanna keep me around. Took a shot in the dark, a burning light starts with a spark. And oh, we both know what they can't see. Yeah, you got my heart, but don't want you to set it free. Breathe in, breathe out. And then it goes into the rest of the chorus. But yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, Bucks County, this is Jules. This is the real deal.
Acapella, no background
on the podcast.
music.
It's a first for us to have someone sing live on this podcast. I love it.
Honored.
What a voice you have. You need to be heard and seen. I mean, you're a beautiful girl with a beautiful voice, and you need to be seen by somebody that's gonna make it's gonna make it happen for you. It's gonna be like the Halsey. Halsey was found on Spotify.
So
she was discovered on Spotify.
Was she really?
Yes, she
was. I did a cover of her song, and I told you that I regret so badly not doing a clean version because of my little brother and sister. They really do listen to everything I do, and the Without Me is the song I did a cover of, and she does say the F word in there.
Yeah, and I did it too,
that.
Didn't you?
Yeah. But I love that song, and my friend Sam, he actually did a whole orchestral arrangement, and we rearranged the whole song. So the song itself is like a poppy kind of alternative song, and he redid it. It's like a ballad. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballad. He put strings and played piano.
Oh, wow, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's a completely different version of the song than you would hear on the radio. But Halsey, I love her voice. A lot of people compare me to Halsey and Adele are the big ones that I get, and that's such an honor for me to even have anyone compare me to either of those people because their voices are so amazing. That is the other one.
I was thinking about that too. It's like, you remind me of the Halsey, of the Adele, those voices. That's what it makes me love your voice. Because you have
I love both of them, so that's such a compliment.
And they
such a compliment.
Have been discovered, Halsey was discovered on Spotify. And this is you. You're out on Spotify, you're out on all these platforms. And you're being heard. And it just takes that right someone to get there and see you. Get a LinkedIn account.
I know. My goal is just for as many people to hear me as possible. I just want to a world tour one day would be amazing, but I'm starting small.
It's okay.
From the bottom.
Don't ever give up your dreams. You have to believe, and it's going to be at the right time and the right moment, and it will happen. Just like for Bert Smith too. He's also one of those guys that will be found and discovered. It's just a matter of time. Just don't ever give up. Never. Okay.
I'm actually going to Ireland. I'm going to Ireland next year. My dad has a wedding business, so he does wedding videography, and I've second shot for him a couple of times. So I'll go and I'll take the other camera and I'll do some video for him. But that is one of the coolest things ever. I don't even have a passport, but he called me the other day and he said, "Hey, do you want to go to Ireland?" And don't you know that I really have been researching where I could perform in Ireland, because that would just be absolutely amazing.
Oh, you have to do it, but it doesn't take long to get a passport. That should be the least of your worries. Get it done. And you can even do a rush service to get it done if you have to. It can be done in less than 2 weeks.
I don't even know where to go. Everybody tells me go to the library, then other people are telling me
I will help you with it. I'm a person in the aviation and travel industry. I can help you out pretty much
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
that's right.
Yeah, you're forgetting.
Did you ever fly for any skydiving planes? Because I did that for a little bit.
I
in my life.
skydived. I was a skydiver before I became a pilot. So I used to jump out of planes. So when I
Oh
got
no
my
way! I worked at a
lessons,
drop zone.
everybody was like, "Please tell me you're not going to jump out of the plane." Like you're
Actually, wait a second. I worked at the drop zone in Bucks County, the one right up on the
no.
ridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's where I
Skydive
skydived
Philadelphia.
at.
No way!
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
We probably met each other. We didn't even know it.
We probably did. Yeah, I
That's
worked
too
there. I
funny.
want to say it was just for a summer that I worked there.
What
But yeah, I
summer?
worked at the drop zone. It was not last year, but the year before.
Oh, it was a few years before that when I was doing all of it. I was there actually skydiving and taking tons of photos of all the skydivers. So,
Oh, you better get recurrent, and then we'll go jump together.
oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The connections that we make. It's
That's
such
so
a small
crazy.
world. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dogs. I love dogs. I work with dogs. I have my dogs, and that the story that apparently everybody knows. I did not know it was that famous of a story,
Yeah,
but
please
of course,
tell me. Just
skydiving.
write the song. I know. Well, pilot skydiving, all that. I had the horse farm with 30 horses. There's a lot of stories to tell. What I need to do is take these podcasts. I'm going to turn them into ebooks. Short story ebooks. That's
Short
next.
stories, yeah, all in to make a novel, yeah,
That's
all
right.
on the podcast.
Yeah, you'll make yours is going to be quite a long one because you have a lot to tell. You have
We have a lot of content.
Amazing life.
And I was worried we weren't going to know what to talk about.
Oh, you were, yeah. Okay, we definitely. By the time this is all done and edited, you're looking at 50. You've got a good 50-minute podcast.
Oh wow!
You didn't even realize
I
it, did you?
Through the whole hour of Bert, so hopefully he'll listen to mine.
He will listen. He will listen to you. Trust me. If he doesn't, I'm gonna take his promos down.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, no, I mean, I had never actually, believe it or not, I had never listened to a podcast before. I had never, ever listened to a podcast before I saw yours. So
Wow.
that was a first for me.
Well, you get to listen to your own podcast, and you get to see your YouTube when it's complete too. So I'll get all those things to you. You'll get a soundbite.
I'm so excited.
So the soundbite will be a minute long, and you can send it off to people that you wanted to say, "Hey, I got a podcast. Here's a soundbite. Go to Bucks County Bytes and listen to the podcast."
I'll definitely share it everywhere.
And then it's the YouTube. You've already got on the YouTube channel, so that once it's done, it'll premiere, and then you can share that with other people. Hey, it's like, here I am. For people that don't have a streaming service, you can still hear it.
And I'm really excited that I actually got to do Remember for you, because when I release Remember, when you pitch to Spotify's release radar, if you tell them that you have been featured in anything like a podcast or online blogs,
really,
I think that helps get you onto playlists a little better. So now I get to say that I was featured on Bucks County.
Oh, that's good. That's great for you. Yes, you have to tell them tell them you're on a Bucks County Bytes. And it's on Spotify and all. It's on all the platforms. Actually, I just got on Pandora. It takes 5 months to get on Pandora.
What? I can't get on Pandora. That's awesome.
It's so hard for Pandora. They are the last ones to put anybody on. So I got an email yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, they finally accepted my podcast. I'm so excited. I finally got on Pandora. I don't think it's live yet, but it's in the process. I've been accepted. So I'm like, wow, cool.
You're going to have to tell me how to do that, because my one friend, he listens to exclusively Pandora. He doesn't know how to use Spotify. He doesn't know how to use Apple Music or any of those other ones. He has only ever used Pandora since he ever had his phone.
Wow.
And he tells me he can't listen to my music.
Well, he can hear you. He'll be able to hear you on Pandora's podcast. As soon as I know it's active, I will put the post out there. It'll go all over the place. So people will know, hey, it's on Pandora finally. I don't want to put it out yet because it's not live. I just checked it last night. It's not there yet. But I imagine probably within a few days or maybe even next week, it'll probably be up.
Oh, yeah. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Awesome. So yeah, tell them that you're on a podcast so you get more play. Get on those playlists. Do it. Lots to tell. Once you get on those podcasts, it does. You're on Amazon. You'll be on Amazon too.
Oh my gosh, yay.
Well, so Amazon Podcast is new. So I was on the list before they became live. So once they became live, I was one of the first ones on, Amazon Podcast.
I didn't even know they did that. So that's,
All
I
you
mean, I
have
guess
to
that's
do,
new.
all you do is you go to Amazon and plug in whatever podcast you want, and if it's on, it shows up right on Amazon search. It's crazy. I'm like, I
Oh,
did
it's like
that. I'm
you're
like,
shopping for something
yeah,
and then
like
all
you're
of a
shopping for
sudden,
something. Just put the name of the podcast and it comes right up. I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy some Bucks County Bytes.
So yeah, and I've got these tins coming out for support for Pine to Pink breast cancer. So once they come out, they'll go on Amazon, and I can sell those there and the proceeds go to breast cancer awareness.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that'll be fun to do that once it comes out. So yeah, lots to talk about. We have to catch up again. We'll do another, like
Yeah,
Berg Smith gonna
absolutely.
do
We'll have
one.
to do
I
this
want
again
you, yes,
sometime.
you
Yeah.
have to come back on when you get out there with some more music, some more singles. Let's get you back on, okay?
Yeah, you'll be the first to know the next time I have a new song coming out.
Oh,
So
so
remember
cool.
the one coming out next, and I'm so excited.
That's so cool. I can't wait. I am so excited for you. Keep that beautiful voice. Keep it singing more and more and more. We want to hear it. Okay?
Awesome.
Don't
Yay.
you give up.
Thank you so much for
You're
having
welcome.
me.
You're an amazing woman. Keep going, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon. Take care of yourself.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. Everyone, that was the amazing Jules. She has this angelic voice. It's so pretty. And it kind of reminds you of that Halsey Adele. It's just a great sounding voice. And I'm going to play a couple of her songs during the backgrounds of the podcast, which you'll hear. And you will get to have all those links. Make sure you follow her on all her social media. And again, make sure you subscribe, share, and like Bucks County Bytes. Soon we will have merchandise out there for you to buy and support the podcast. Along with, you're going to support Pine to Pink. Jules, you are fantastic. I love your voice. I love your music. Please keep it up. Don't you ever, ever give up on us. Bucks County's listening to you and beyond, all over the world. Everybody have a great and fantastic week into the weekend, and we'll be talking soon because we've got more people coming along. Be Balanced is coming on. Stacy Long with her industry, her business, which we will talk about on Saturday. And we also have a couple new guests coming up later in the week. And until next week, November is booked. So everybody take care. Have a great one. Bucks County Bytes over and out.
I found you when your heart was broke. I filled your cup until it overflowed. Took it so far to keep you close.